Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic, Volume 9, Episode 28. And today we are going to be solving a supersized puzzle because it's been a week since the last one. And as is custom for us when we do a supersized puzzle, it is a larger version of a puzzle type that we have seen before. So if you're unfamiliar with Dominion, you can go back and watch the earlier video we've done on this topic to solve a smaller one before we look at this bigger one today. Or if you need a quick reminder, we will, of course, take a look at the rules. Dominion is a shading puzzle. We will shade some dominoes of cells to divide the grid into unshaded areas. So we're going to be shading regions of exactly size 2, no more, no less, so we have to bound every domino with unshaded cells, as you can see here in the example. Shaded dominoes may not touch orthogonally. Orthogonally just means horizontally or vertically in a puzzle like this, so they're allowed to touch diagonally at corners. They just can't touch on edges. Clues cannot be shaded, and each orthogonally connected area of unshaded cells contains exactly one type of clue and all instances of it. So clues are these letters, and you see that this is an orthogonally connected area here. You can get to any one cell from any other cell just by going horizontally and vertically through the area. And there's a note here that says exactly one type of clue implies every region contains at least one clue. So we don't have any completely empty regions. Everything's got a letter in it, and whatever letter it's got, all of the instances of that one letter appear in there. We're not going to have two separate A regions. We'll have one region containing all of the A's, for example. Those are the rules to Dominion, so it's time to solve a puzzle. Today's supersized Dominion puzzle comes to us from Shye. We know that letters that are different cannot be connected, so we can put some blocks in between these right away. And let's scan around for any more cases like that. Here we don't know because they're the same letter. But down here we'll have the same thing happening. None of these adjacent letters are the same. Okay. And these are all dominoes, and we can't have the dominoes be touching orthogonally, so we can definitely fill these all in. Okay. So, the regions have to include all instances of a given letter. So let's look at these little dead ends and which ones have other letters, other of that letter that they need to meet. The U has to find its way to that U. No other P's. The E has to find its way to these E's. Same thing with this E down here. The ones on the ends are less constrained. The Z doesn't go to anywhere, the I doesn't go to anywhere, and the S's will connect. Okay, by doing that, we have a couple more forced situations because we can't have these two regions meet up, nor these three, nor these two. Same deal here with that one and that one. And then some of those grow out into dominoes. Here, the I can't touch the E region, so that gets blocked off. And this U region can't touch this E region. The S region has to get out so that it can get to the other S's, so it's going to have to go through that little passageway there. And there's not enough room for a domino up here, so that's unshaded. We can't have the U and S meet, so that gets shaded. And this, if we shaded this, we would have a non-domino, among other problems. So, yeah, and the U has to sneak through there anyway. So the U's have met up. These both become dominoes. We don't want the U to meet the E. And we are on a roll. This S needs to meet these S's, but not these E's. Okay, if this region were to grow into this cell, there would be no way for the S's to meet up without touching the E's. So that makes this a shaded cell. And because the S's need to touch, they need to go through here, which makes this domino horizontal. This needs to keep going. This will be, even though it's not yet marked as one, we know this is an S region. So it can't touch the E. So that is shaded. And this one could go up here still, I think. Whichever way this domino goes, this one's going to be unshaded as a neighbor either way. Same thing is true here, here. I don't know that those are useful, but just a thing I noticed. This E can't touch this Q. This D has to somehow make its way to these D's. So it's going to come through this gap right there, which gives us the orientation of that domino. This has to keep going. We can't fit a domino down here. It's just the same as up here was. So we've done that. This is an E region. This is a D region. Don't let them meet. If this region needs to come out to meet the other E's, it's got to do that through here, because if it went through here, it would meet this D. So it's going to have to come through there, and we can't have our E's and D's touching, so that gives us those. These dominoes are complete. Can't have E meet Q. And can't have D meet Q. That goes there. Adjacent to that domino. This domino we know is north-south. The D and Q can't meet. That finishes off that domino. This D region has to meet the rest of them, so it comes out this way, and no room for a domino here. D and Q can't meet. D has to come up to meet this D, so it's going to go through that tunnel, and it has met it. And that gives us a domino there. We don't want to have D meet Q. Then these Q's don't have to meet anything else. The R doesn't have to meet anything else. Where is it going to be most vulnerable? Probably this B is determinable now. Do we know that it doesn't get any bigger at all? I bet it's a 1. I bet it's a single cell. What if it got bigger? If it got bigger, if the B took this cell, we would need this to be a domino. And in so doing, the B has gotten bigger. That means we need to separate the B from the S. And as soon as we've done that, we have isolated these S's from these S's. Tell me in the comments if there was a simpler way you saw of doing that, but that makes that shaded, which makes this unshaded. These can't be dominoes, so we can unshade them. If this is shaded, it either goes north-south or it goes east-west. Either way, chopping off the S from the S, so that's unshaded. If this becomes shaded, then the B has to come through here and meet up, and yeah, we can't have that. So this goes north, and then this goes east. As was predicted, the B is a 1 by 1. If this were shaded, we would need it to go south to avoid a non-domino shape, and that would break up the S's, so that's unshaded. Therefore, this one is to avoid, because a domino can't go there. If this goes east, that unshades this one, and therefore this one, and that makes the E see the F. E see the S. So this is not shaded. And now we've got an S region that can't be allowed to touch this E region. That comes down this way. These have to be part of a region with a letter in it, so it comes up here. This can't hold a domino. This could go, well, this has to go north. This has to go north. And we've got this E region that has all linked up now. That's good. And can't touch the R regions. That makes this a shaded cell and therefore a domino. And it has already congratulated us, but let's just confirm that we couldn't have any shaded cells left over. If we shaded this one, it would come up here and isolate the Q's. So that's not shaded. If we shaded this, it would come over here and isolate this little L tetramino from the rest of the world. So that's not shaded. And if either of these were shaded, that would be a domino isolating this domino. So those are both not shaded. And that is how you solve a supersized dominion.